The 2022 Toyota Tundra is no better than the 2022 Ram 1500, and it's sad. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Automotive FST. Real quick, go ahead and smash that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. So that's right, the 2022 Toyota Tundra is no better than the Ram 1500, and it is sad. Why is it sad? Well, Toyota had a big chance. They put out the redesigned, remodeled 2022 Tundra, and it was supposed to be mind-blowing. That's what they said. It was supposed to be mind-blowing. It was going to change the way we look at full-size pickup trucks. Now, a little history for you. I had a 2021 Tundra, and when I had an experience with the 2022, I drove one. One came in, I went and drove it. I was going to buy the 2022 Tundra. It was my plan. Not necessarily the one that I drove, but a 2022 Tundra. After I drove it, I thought, I just can't do this. There's just nothing mind-blowing about it, and not enough in the way of change for the good to make me want to go for a new Tundra. I mean, let's look at it. They got rid of the V8. I'm sitting in a 5.7 V8 Hemi in my 2022 Ram 1500. This feels more powerful than that Toyota Tundra did. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not like the new V6 twin-turbo Tundra is a dog, but it's just not as powerful, as robust as what the 2022 Ram 1500 is. How about the comfort, the feel of it? I will say they made some good improvements in the way that the 2022 Tundra feels as compared to its predecessors, the previous generation. It does feel smoother. It feels more dampened than the old one did. Now, not leaps and bounds ahead of it, but enough that you can feel it in the seat. So then I jump in my 2022 Ram 1500, and it actually feels a little bit better. I wouldn't say it's a huge difference, but it's definitely a little bit smoother, a little bit more dampened. That's the best way I can describe it than the 2022 Tundra is. What about just road feel? It feels like the Ram just kind of glides along. That's kind of what I can reckon it to, I suppose. Feels like it just kind of glide along the road. Feels more luxury than the Tundra does. I'll tell you, for the price of the new Tundras, it ought to feel pretty luxury, particularly if you're one of those folks that are looking at spending or have spent a premium price for it. There's just no way. It's not worth it. Now, let's talk about the interior space. They made the interior of the new remodeled Tundra a little bit smaller. The back seat's a little bit smaller. The cab is a little bit smaller. It's a little bit more confining. Tough to go to when you came from a Tundra that was massive. Both of my Tundras, I had a couple of Crew Maxes, were huge inside. It felt a little bit more closed in to me. Now, the Ram, I don't know if it comes through on camera, but it's just massive in here, particularly compared to the new Tundra. Why they did that, I imagine it was an attempt to get better fuel economy, maybe make it a little bit more driver friendly. I'm not sure. It's not like it was difficult to drive before. I had mentioned many times in previous Tundra videos that it's one of the easiest full-size trucks that I've driven, much like the Ram. I had forgotten how easy the Ram is to drive. For you see, a few years ago, I had a Ram Rebel. Loved the truck. But because of reliability concerns, I moved on to other things. I think I actually bought two Ford F-150s. Yeah, that was a mistake. They were horrible. Got rid of both of them due to some weird, quirky transmission thing. So anyway, I think that it's definitely smaller inside. They've taken away from the truck. Doesn't make any sense to me. What about the setup inside. Gotta say, they made a huge improvement in the new Tundra. I mean, they did bring it more modern. They brought it up to where everyone else is, almost. Not quite, almost. And the biggest problem for me in the new Tundra is the treatment of the screen, the infotainment thing. It looks like an afterthought. It looks like they just took a screen, slapped it in there. Didn't really matter if it fit right or not, because it does protrude above the dash. And I know that's a Toyota thing as of late, but it doesn't look good. I'm sitting here looking at my Ram's setup, and everything is nice and put together. Everything is integrated. It looks good. It looks like it should be there. It looks like they put some thought into it. I don't know why Toyota did it that way. Kind of crazy. Who knows? The gauge cluster and all that, I don't know. They talked about that a little bit. And I suppose it depends on what trim level you get, but that didn't wow me either. That's, I must say, one of the things that I look at right off is the gauge cluster. Again, it's not like the Ram gauge cluster in my truck is anything over the top, but it's certainly no worse, if not even a little better than what the new Tundra has. Just doesn't make any sense to me. Now, talking about the bed, that's another thing. They made that a little smaller as well. It's almost like Toyota has really tried to design a more suburban truck. You know, a truck that you can drive to work and then haul a few little things on the weekend, and that's about it. Not the workhorse kind of truck that many of the others are. It's kind of sad. It makes me feel bad for Toyota. How about the general appearance of the truck altogether from the outside? What? It's horrible. That front end, I mean, you can make it a little better if you find a truck or order a truck that's all blacked out, gets rid of that chrome mustache that they put up there, but still, it's ugly. What about the lines on the truck? You know, it reminds me, I've mentioned this before, of an old GM Corvette. You know, GM at one point, I think it was when maybe they had given up on the Corvette, I don't know, kind of cobbled one together. Everything was just pulled off the shelf and stuck together, and it looked that way. That's kind of what the Tundra looks like to me. Like they just kind of stuck things together. It doesn't flow. It looks squatty to me. Nothing looks in proportion. Things just look odd. Who knows? It's very strange. Now, I'm looking at it, again, as compared to the Ram, and I will admit, I have said many times on the channels that the Ram is the best looking full-size truck out there, in my opinion. Nothing beats the way the Ram truck looks. What about the way it sounds? That's another big thing that really turned me off about the Tundra. It doesn't have any voice. Well, it wouldn't. It's a V6 twin turbo. You can't even hear the twin turbos. There's just nothing. It's quiet. I walked up to the front of that truck while I was at the dealership. I didn't know it was running. You don't mistake that in the Ram 1500. You can hear it growl. You can hear it grumble. When you turn the key, those dual exhausts fire up, and it is awesome. All due, of course, to the setup along with the V8 engine. Something that Toyota probably shouldn't have done away with in their full-size truck. Anyway, I just wanted to get on here, talk about that a little bit. You know, the Toyota Tundra definitely does not beat out the Ram 1500. I don't know what they were thinking. It's going to be very interesting to see how they change it, what they do to adapt it, because they're going to have to. It's just gotten too much negative press. I don't think a lot of people love it. It's not to say there isn't anybody. There's always going to be some people that like everything, right? But generally, overall, I think it's a miss. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think, especially if you have a Ram 1500 and you've driven a Toyota Tundra. Was it enough for you? Did you run out and sell your Ram? I'd be curious to know. Real quick, in case you didn't earlier, don't forget, smash that subscribe button and click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. I also have 2 additional channels, Rob Motive, all about my 2021 Toyota Tacoma, the best mid-size truck on the road. And Rob Motive JT, all about my 2020 Jeep Gladiator. Check them out, and if you're interested, please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.